Howdy guys, welcome to today's live play. We'll fire some flash games. I'll tell you generally a bit about my approach, about the specific, about regs, adjustments, and strategy, everything that will I'll believe be more or less important at the moment, if I remember obviously about stuff during the game. Okay, so let's fire something. As usually, flashes are, when it comes to flashes and the win rate, the regback is the most important. So simply saying we want to maximize the regback, so I don't want to mix two limits. If I pick a limit, I would like to fire it to complete the leaderboards, where obviously you need to play 10 or 30 games, depends on the level. We can try with the 10s, I think pretty common limit for many players. Let's fire two tables. We'll play lots of pre-flop game, which doesn't demand lots of focus. That's why flash players are capable of playing several tables at once. The games do not last for too long. You can even play 1000 games in one day. So seems like pretty cool grinding situation. Flashes are awesome for completing the exclusive challenges. So pretty often you can reach even 70% rakeback or even more than that with the leaderboards, with the 40% challenge, and if you obviously complete the best chests, but this rather appears at higher stakes. So yeah, let's go. As you can see, today I'll play these games without HUD, because simply saying if I just play two tables, I want to be more observant, I won't build a sample size. What would be more important for me are showdowns, and this is how you can adjust in the quickest possible way. That's simply saying you can notice something like button limp, which is pretty important showdown. Pretty important, not even a showdown, but a singular decision that shows general tendencies of our opponent. If someone limps and then he just limp folds, definitely pretty passive tendencies. Pretty important info for us that if this guy bluffs, if he raises, most likely he's on a stronger range than average guy. We face a delay and bet. There are some ace draws. There was a check on the flop. Sounds like a flush draw. Half pots have lots of bluffs, so this is a sizing that I'm okay calling, as people over bluff these. And when we face half pot, we only need to win 25% of the time, so that's pretty frequently. If you look at your data, quick note, 10 BB, 3-bet shove, king 6 suited. As you can see, these are showdowns that are pretty important, and if we meet the guy again, we will for sure benefit from that. Against button limper, playing 100% VPIP, I don't expect him to isolate too frequently. Then we can easily fire c-bet, pick up pots without showdowns. What I was saying before, I have no idea, I don't remember anymore. Let's go with the game. Yep, going with the min raise. And yeah, pretty short stack. We were shallow. Remember that very often, as you can see, our guys are pretty far from, let's say, optimal strategy, optimal ranges and stuff. So don't be that afraid that someone that you're not sure about some pre-flop move or whatever. It's generally more about how do you see your opponent, some adjusts. Like here, I don't think against this passive guy that he would jump here even a 5 would block flash draws. I think versus his jump, I might just fold our 5, although it's pretty close. Not a big deal. For sure it's close. If something is close, then most likely it doesn't matter. Yeah, because very often, even if you look at some Nash charts or whatever, this is a good starting point. But if you want to beat mid stakes, if you want to be the best, you need to go far further. Where simply, if you start playing, and for example, you've got a guy like like whoever actually, against whom you will very quickly build a sample size of 500, 1000 or whatever hands, or you will see a singular showdown that shows that, hey, this guy showed king 6 suited with a 3-bet shove or whatever else. You know that it demands, playing with this guy demands specific adjustment, that this guy open shoves pretty wide, wider than Nash, which is pretty rare, or tighter, which is pretty frequent. So you need to know how to play against the guy who is actually far from the GTO preflops or Nash approach, and this is where the edge comes from deviating from playing far from the optimal strategy if you have notes against someone. So don't be open for that. Don't try to blindly follow like one strategy that will definitely give you money. Best results doesn't come from being unexploitable, but rather from exploiting others. And obviously, this is a starting point where if you don't know what to do, you should do something. But in fact, you shouldn't play unexploitable game, but rather analyze the population tendencies. Because you play against random guys, you don't play against the bot. It's not like, oh, first hand I play against random, so I want to play GDO, blah blah blah. No, the thing is that you play against population, you play against these guys, and these guys have some tendencies. They have tendencies that we could somehow adjust to them. So if you want to prepare, if you want to have readless strategy, it's definitely not balanced strategy. You got to open your PT4 or whatever you use and simply saying, analyze the tendencies of these guys to simply prepare adequate pre-flop ranges, post-flop strategy, and so on. And this is basically what we do in Smart Spin. We want to optimize the game. We want to have the best strategy against the reality, against these guys. Because, you know, who played GTO? You, me, no one. Everyone tries, but everyone is far from it. So, you know, why would you try to play perfectly against someone who doesn't play perfectly? It's a nonsense. And obviously, yeah, this is how it works. So don't worry about that. Well, not 3-2, small raise. Don't worry about that. The most important is not to make big mistakes. And what are the big mistakes? Obviously, kind of depends here and there. But this is what we what we care the most about: quickly fixing big leaks to reach at least these medium or even high stakes. Not being a very good player, but not being a spazzer or someone who makes big mistakes. And this is the essence, right? The first step, as always, is to fix big leaks, and then you can think of, you know, this more detailed approach, which is kind of pointless unless you're playing at least hundreds or higher. So yeah, big donk bet jam, pretty important note. Donk bet all in 3 times a pot, donk bet all in 3x pot. Right, this guy might like to put lots of chips in the middle, most likely with the strong hand. 6 BB, should we play the hand 9-4? It's close, right? Whatever you do, most likely if we believe it's close, it means that the EV is very close to 0, and the money doesn't come from moves that are EV close to 0, which is limping or not 9-4 offsuit at 6 blinds, but rather are being confident with whatever you do, with basically maximizing value when you've got a very good hand, and simply getting max value from it, or simply saying from folding shitty hands when someone jumps, and we know that, hey, this guy most likely is not a bluffing monster, right? So this is what is the most important, not really the being super detailed with pre-flop limping or not 9-5 offsuited or stuff like that. Checking the second pair, facing a jam again. So this guy likes big bowling 2 times. This guy likes big bowling, so against this guy most likely we don't need to build a pot pre-flop because he will do it for us. Small blind check, so I think we can easily fire 2 bullets here and jump the river. If someone checks twice out of position, I rarely expect him to have a top pair, so definitely second pair, good kicker. We can fire and therefore give a chance for our opponent to put chips maybe with weaker second pair, which is pretty easy to do. Yeah. So yeah. Pam pam pam. Right here at the moment, looks like this guy might be kind of regular. I have seen him for 5th time or whatever, so he might play here regularly. And you know, for the moment, as you can see, I play without a HUD. And the thing is that if I would play more of these games, you know, you can easily play 10 or 15,000 games monthly of flushes. So if I manage to have 3, 4, 500 or even more hands, then I would be able to make some accurate adjustments. For the moment, I would not have enough sample size to say anything, and I'm playing just 2 tables, so I'm noticing all the showdowns. And this is also very important for many players to keep that in mind, that poker we play against particular guys, and very often it's a good to refresh our approach and simply play without a HUD, because when having a small sample size, more important are showdowns that give us more information rather than stats, because if we just play a few hands, that won't give us lots of data. I mean, at least for me, as I don't play these stakes regularly, so these are like first hands that I have, I won't have much information, but definitely, yeah. Pam 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 pam. 2 pairs, easy game, easy life. Facing check jam with 2 pairs from second pair. Getting the AV, random guy gets. Oh, this is Boo, right? From Dragon Ball. Nice. Hey, it's bad guys. Okay, we got Kadumota, button limp fold, now open shoves. Most likely the open shoving range is stronger than the regular guys, right? So yeah, firing. Remember, long run. Pre-flop spots, winning or losing this queen deuce against king 9 doesn't matter. In long run, it will be more, or it will reach the long run, so you will win as frequently as you got to. The most important is to have lots of these situations when you open shove and someone calls you with some hands. Therefore, you give yourself to get this equity. This is interesting. Big blind call now. He calls 1BB. For me, sounds like some random call with whether we get a queen, king, or maybe a queen. I thought that 4 would just call. So I'll just check and give him a chance to spaz something. I'm almost sure that I have a better hand. He bets small. We can jam. We can call twice. I think I'll just call twice. I think with the good draw, open end or something, most of players would just jump the turn. So I'll just call twice. Okay, he mucked. Okay, and he had, oh, that's interesting, king jack. I raised at 8 blinds, I think, he just called. That's weird call, but anyone has his approach. For sure, this in long run gives us more possibilities because, we can realize equity. Yeah, just jamming this. Bottom pair we bet to deny the equity. We want to go to the showdown. That's cool. All good, all standard. Bam, jam, sham, boom, shove, kish, bish. This is how we play. 5.25, I think we're calling with Jack 9. Even though the guy is passive, I think Jack 9 is okay. But definitely for now, if you look at the Nash chart and play against this guy, I think that would be a mistake. I think his open shoving range is going to be way tighter. Okay, winning flips. Winning flips. Okay, the guy folded again. So if he folds, if we don't see lots of, you know, aggressive moves, if we don't see spazzes, then most likely we can play close to 100 VPIP above 7 blinds. Okay, pretty cool turn. I'll just fire 3 bullets and see how the guy reacts. This is interesting. Min raise. A flush draw? I mean, we don't have a fold equity, but maybe we're ahead against 6-7 or something. I don't know, that's weird. No, that would be too spazzy. But that's weird. Maybe there are some 2 pairs slow played from the flop. I don't know. Doesn't seem like a bluff. 5 blinds, just going in with Queen 8. Whip. Deuce 3 suited, definitely suited hands. I want to see the flop. Boom. Betting bottom pairs and folding. The big blind could easily jam the deuce. With the 3, we block some of these. He's got just 3-5, 3-6. 15 blinds we can fold. Don't worry about particular spin. Particular spins are pure variance, but if you play hundreds of them, you know, more and more your edge will start to be visible. Because still in these games, in flash games, you want to make 1, 2, 3% ROI. So, you know, if you invest, let's say, $100, you want to get 102 in return or 103. So don't expect to win every hand, don't expect to win every game, right? Out of these 10,000 games that you play a month, let's say that you would, to be break even in chips, right? You would need to win 33.3% of them, so 3,333 or something like that. But if you make like whatever edge, you would win, you know, it's not like you would win everything, you would win like 3,500 or something, 3,600, right? Depends on the ROI and stuff. Still 10,000 games, that's a little, I mean, that's a lot, but not that a lot. I mean, obviously, the variance, especially in these shallow stacks games, could be so high that that sometimes even more would be recommended to see your true ROI, although there is no such a thing as true ROI, because if you play, let's say, 100,000 games, you know, during the period, your ROI would change, depends on your daily mood, how do you sleep, you know, some family situations or whatever random situations. So this kind of is also important. Remember, poker is not only clicking buttons, but also how you manage yourself, how you manage your energy over long period, because that affects your focus, that affects your concentration. It's very easy to play very well one game if you're not tired. It's way harder to keep high quality, keep high quality if you're tired, right? Or if you play lots of games a day, and that's what you kind of want to do, because you want to maximize value from poker. You won't earn by playing one game the best that you can. No, you'll earn by playing plenty of games with okay or good quality. So remember, still, quality over quantity, that's the most important, but you got to put effort into putting the quantity, right? This is the aim, this is the goal, putting the highest possible quantity with the highest possible quality. Simple as that. Whoop. There's a jump. That's interesting. There are some draws. We've got just the bottom pair, but I think if the guy who calls small blind, there's a big blind. I don't think he would jump here Jack 10, King 10, King Jack, so I might just go I might just go home. Pam, 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 button limping. I haven't seen him limping before. Maybe I was talking too much, that's why I haven't seen it, but when someone limps 7 BB or below, I mean, generally I'm not so afraid of that. If there's a regular guy against whom I played a few hundred games and he hasn't been limping any time, I would be afraid of that. But if it's a random guy, I could say like, oh, he could limp queen jack or whatever, but not if it's a random guy. 6, maybe we'll go to the showdown, we'll see. Check, check, check. 7, 8, pretty important note. 7 BB, button to limp, 8, 7 ups. Boom, 6.6, so I think it's a borderline-ish call. We've got dead money of 1.5 BB, so we can easily call, and we took it down. I mean, we took the pot down, sucking out left, right. No, I jinxed the right one. But yeah, 3x from the bottom limper, and he now has done it with 7-8. So definitely, again, the guy who previously limped, now he just 7-8. Now he 3x's an ace. Okie dokie, guys, so this is it for today. Pretty short, but I think informative video about flushes generally and few hands, some gameplay. Just an enjoyable short video, and yeah, lots of enjoyment, like a pure poker. Thanks, guys, for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you would like to see next, and see you. Bye bye.